Beyond good, beyond evil, beyond your wildest imagination.
This is TFG and Mike, and before we get to ToonCast Beyond, Episode 1, the premiere episode, where Tara the Rising Star and I will be talking about the Superhero Squad show, myself, Steve Megatron, hello.
Hello.
And Tara the Rising Star, hello.
Hey.
Are here to respond to a ToonCast Classic review. I almost said interview. Wow, that was weird. Yes, we had a iTunes review done by D. Callow Williams on August 27th, 2011. Yes, I know this is late, but this is the first time we've gotten to ToonCast Beyond recordings. The title is ToonCast, a fascinating look on cartoons. It is a 4-star review. Thank you for that. 4-star reviews. ToonCast is a good podcast that is well thought up and an interestingly insightful look on none other than anything animation related. Tough, not much of a historian, podcast more of a labor of love look on the animated movies that made up both the animation industry it developed in the childhoods of those who cherished it so. For its strengths, well-researched history segments are great. I love the discussion on how the movies, shows made an impact either critically, commercially, or for the notable legendary status and cult following. The interviews with voice actors, writers, and producers are really cool and seem to dig deep into their opinions on their work and their impact. The weaker points, sorry to sound nitpicky, would be Tara's Valley Girl accent if around a long time. Okay, she's from Canada, people. She's not from California.
She's not like yeehaw.
I know my voice may sound a bit different because I'm Canadian, but Valley Girl, I don't think I've ever gotten that in my entire life.
Yes. Steve, the host's own bad editorial of the recordings of people talking. First of all,
I'm only in 6 episodes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Mike, and you are
Steve.
Okay. This is my voice, and this is
Steve's voice.
Exactly. Steve was only ever on 6 episodes of ToonCast Classic. 6 out of 100. Okay, so...
Maybe 7, but...
Yeah.
Still.
Of people talking, bad quality sound, and sometimes some offbeat reviewing on some of the movies. For example, the Snow White review didn't focus on the structure of the plot, character structure, or themes. Instead, the dark elements are overanalyzed too much. Though, and the history segment makes up for it. The Lion King review is superb. Look on the analysis of the trilogy and its legacy. Overall, it's worthy of listening to. First of all, as far as the Snow White overanalyzation, Snow White has no plot. It has no character development whatsoever. There are all these dark elements in that movie. That movie, I don't care if it was Walt Disney's first. I don't care if it did pay for Disney's first, animation studio. That's great, all well and great. But I'm sorry, that movie just is not a good movie in my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I am very proud of what Kevin and I did in episode 29 of ToonCast Classic. That's the point of podcasting, people. That's the point of any podcast that we here at the Geekcast Radio Network do. There are a lot of stuff that we love. I love Generation 1 Transformers. Steve loves Beast Wars. People love animated. People love all these cartoons. But the point of this is to analyze them and break them down to see if they hold up, to today's standards and stuff like that. So, thank you for the review. Thank you for the 4-star review. We appreciate that. Tara, when she can, will be on the show. If there's topics that she wants to, be in on, we're always, going to welcome her in. If you feel that you can't listen to that episode, then don't listen to it. We work with the crew that we want to work with. We do appreciate all the positive feedback. We do appreciate all of the constructive criticism. As far as the audio quality and the editorial quality, I will say ToonCast Classic, the first... 30 episodes or so, there are a bunch of audio issues because back then, when did we start that? 2009, right? Yeah, this is almost 2.5, 3 years ago now.
We had different and varying headphones or microphone qualities and recording software.
Exactly. Over the 2 years that the Geekcast Radio Network has been online, we've evolved. We've gotten better equipment, we've gotten better recording software. I mean, you're not going to start something and just shit gold immediately.
That's exactly true.
That's hilarious.
I mean, there are going to be issues. So, again, thank you again, Dee, for the review. We very much appreciate it. Again, to anyone who is still going through or still finding ToonCast Classic and leaves reviews there, we will respond to them here in ToonCast Beyond. And without any more further ado, here is episode 1 of ToonCast Beyond, the Superhero Squad Show.
That's just a phone, Hulk. If it's President Roosevelt, tell him I'm not here. Go ahead, answer it.
Ring.
Hulk, I believe Captain America is suggesting you answer the phone with words.
What phone what? Phone loud, but Hulk louder! Hulk loudest there is!
With that Infinity Sword, I will rule the universe! All right, Swatties, time to hero up!
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of ToonCast Beyond, brought to you by the Geekcast Radio Network. I am your host, TFG and Mike, and joining me is Chuck Dog 1999. Hello, sir.
Mike, it's like I just talked to you. Oh, this has started to become a habit.
Well, fine. You're kicked off the show. You're kicked off the network. You guys can't have none of our popularity anymore. No. What's been going on with you, sir?
Oh, man, I gotta tell you, it's tough being the Chuck, Mike. It's tough being the Chuck.
Considering all those other guys make fun of you all the time, yeah.
Well, you know what? They make fun, but I gotta tell you, for every joke they make, I mean, that's a ratings point up in our favor. So, I really can't complain. But I mean, between the guest hosting stuff with you, we had our show this week, and then did a special appearance on the ToonCast. Try saying that 5 times fast. Which was their 1-year anniversary special. It was actually 11 p.m. Friday night Eastern Standard Time, which was like midday in Australia. And it was tough because the guys were tired, but it was fun. It was a very relaxed setting because we didn't have to worry about recording because other people were handling it, so we could just kick back and rock and roll. And other than that, that's basically what I'm doing.
Awesome. And for me, by the time, because ToonCast Beyond will premiere 11/11/11. Yes, it's the sign of the apocalypse. Oh, no, wait, that's 12/12/12. Whoops. But, over the last 2 weeks, I've recorded and edited probably over 10 different projects. Just in the last 48 hours, I've edited at least 3.5, 4 projects. I've just been busy with the podcasting stuff. I will be back doing putting video mashups back on my YouTube channel because I'm finally getting my BotCon puggles. They are on the way from Cali, so there's that. I was waiting on those to do my 200th YouTube video. Other than that, that's it for me. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Superhero Squad show, and to get things started, this show is an American cartoon series by Marvel Animation. It is based on the Marvel Superhero Squad action figure line from Hasbro, which portray the characters of the Marvel Universe in a cartoonish, super deformed style. It also is a self-aware parody of the Marvel characters in that the heroes find themselves in comedic situations and have cartoonish bents into their usually serious personalities, such as the Incredible Hulk being jovial and good-natured, but with a quote-unquote major anger issues. The series animation was produced by Film Roman and Marvel Animation. So, for Season 1, the basic overall plot here is, before the series happened, Doctor Doom tried to get the Infinity Sword. Iron Man couldn't let that happen. The Infinity Sword shattered into a bunch of fractals, and the Squaddies and Doom's villains, Doom's henchmen, are trying to fight to get it back, to get all these fractals back. By the end of the season, I believe they get them back, but they destroy the fractals. I don't know. It's some weird thing at the end of the season that one big old plot line. Let's see. By the end of season 1, oh yeah, the Infinity Sword is reforged when Galactus arrives to devour the Earth. It is later revealed that the Infinity Sword can only be wielded by someone who wields the Infinity Gauntlet. Silver Surfer rejoins Galactus as his herald and leaves the team with the Infinity Sword in his possession. After the aftermath of the battle, Villainville is destroyed, and Doctor Doom and his henchmen are arrested. And in Season 2, basically, it's the ongoing adventures. Thanos is the new villain in Season 2, and it's to find the fractal gems for the Infinity Gauntlet. I have not seen a lot of Season 2. I've seen all of Season 1. The problem with this show is that when it does air, it's 6 a.m. Saturday mornings. What the fuck is wrong with you, Cartoon Network?
I hate to say it, Mike, but I mean, with the tone and nature of the show, I mean, it is geared towards a much younger audience, and I remember being that age, and I was up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday because you don't want to waste any moment of the day, and you want to enjoy your cartoons.
That's true. That is true. But yes, it is geared towards towards kids and stuff, but it still has humor in it for adults. I mean, this show is by no means a PG show whatsoever. It does have some pretty raunchy humor at times.
Well, there's been a trend, I would say, within the last 15 years or so of, children's cartoons working in little winks and nods to the parents, jokes and stuff that they themselves, that the kids won't get but the parents would. Animaniacs was one of the shows that really first started doing that, and other shows that followed suit. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, let's look at Superhero Squad. I mean, you know the opening, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a moment in every episode. I mean, this is why when I watch it, I never skip the title credits. There's a bit with the Hulk getting transformed.
Right.
And to the untrained eye, you would think, oh, it's just the fractal acting up, but in truth, each one is a different homage to the various incarnations of the Hulk over the years. I know there's been a one time he turned into a Jack Kirby-esque version of himself.
Yeah.
Then there was the Gray Hulk. Then there was the, Raging Green Hulk, which I think most people are familiar with, as that's the best known Hulk persona. Then there was the Smarter Hulk, and the amalgamation of the three Hulks fighting, and from there on else.
There's a whole episode in Season 1 dedicated to the Hulk where he picks up the fractal. Not only does he turn gray, he gets smarter.
Well, yeah, and that's actually what happened. I mean, the history of the Hulk is actually very interesting in the Marvel Comics. I mean, to be honest, just go over it quickly. The Hulk we see in Superhero Squad, not the fact that he's just funny, but the fact that he could talk, and not that he's a Shakespearean scholar. That was actually the original Hulk. He wasn't this brooding, just angry mass. I mean, he could communicate. That was the Hulk that joined the Avengers. Later on, what had happened was through experimentations by Bruce Banner to cure himself of the Hulk, he caused the Gray Hulk mutation, which is when, that it was basically he became the Gray Hulk at night, had no recollection of it happening, and Gray Hulk was basically just a large, muscular, funny-looking guy. I mean, he had normal intelligence. He wasn't as strong as the Green Hulk, but and that went on for quite a number of years. If I'm not mistaken, the second Incredible Hulk series was actually launched with the Gray Hulk saga, and then eventually he regressed into the savage, Green Hulk that most people would know. So, I mean, that's one of the things I like about this show is that they do give nods to you have to look for it and you have to know what you're seeing, but they do give the nods to the classic comic book history of each character.
Oh, yeah, and it's very awesome. One thing about this show is they have Iron Man's biggest thing is he wants to quote-unquote factor in. It's basically choosing which heroes go on which missions, and each of the factors, Iron Man has the tech factor, Falcon has the speed, Hulk has the strength, Thor has the elemental, Silver Surfer and Scarlet Witch have the energy, and Wolverine obviously has the animal. And this show is just so hilarious. I mean, it's you got Stan Lee as the mayor, for crap's sake. That's awesome.
Stan Lee, oh my God. I mean, there are people who probably have never picked up a comic book in their lives, and they know who Stan Lee is. I mean, Stan Lee has such an ability to speak, and to draw you in to to the story. I don't know if you remember this, but back in the 80s, I think it was on NBC, they had like a Marvel action hour. I forget what it was called, but it was Spider-Man and his amazing friends, and I think it was Incredible Hulk or something, and Stan Lee would intro the stories, and the way he would set the stage, it was like, listen, true believers, the dastardly Dr. Doom. And, by the time he was done, I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, and I remember that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the man is an icon. I mean, the man is a cultural icon. And, frankly, he's had to be dead for like 30 years, and it's just that nobody has the guts to tell him because he's just so energetic.
Yeah. Hey, So, all right. So, as far as first impressions, I'm trying to remember how I even heard about this show. I think I saw an episode, one morning. I might have been half awake, and I might have left my TV on, and it might have been on Cartoon Network, and I think I saw an episode of it. I don't think I actually saw anything online, read anything online about it before I actually saw it. And I think the first episode I saw was the one in season 1 where War Machine comes in, which is hilarious in itself. And I was captivated with this show. This show is awesome. The character designs for what they are. I mean, it's a different, as we said before, super deformed, different take on the Marvel Universe, but it's still, the character designs I think are all great. The animation style is awesome. Just the way that they have the prologue, the title cards, and then, the rest of the story, I think that's all great. It's just an awesome show. I think the only thing detracting it from a lot of viewership is that 6 a.m. time slot. Regardless if, kids are up at that time, like I said before, a lot of the humor in this show is geared towards adults as well, and I think most adults are not going to be up at 6 a.m. watching cartoons.
Well, I mean, first of all, let's backtrack a second. The average person passes out in front of their television with either a can or bottle of beer in their hand with Skinamax on. you pass out in front of your television with Cartoon Network on. I just had to touch upon that.
Well, the average person, meaning the average New Yorker, is what you mean, right? Because
No.
not everybody can drink beer.
Oh, well, whatever adult beverage of your choice. But I actually, Mike, I got scared because I was trying to remember. I knew of the toy line. Like I had seen pictures, I had seen them in shelves, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, these were basically static figurines that, really didn't do much. And it was the funniest thing because if you remember, Hasbro had the titanium line, which was static figures in fixed poses, but they were die-cast, and those didn't sell worth a lick. So I'm like, oh great, they're going to do it in just plastic now, and sure enough, it started selling gangbusters. Because I mean, you figure the superhero squad, it's like superhero squad, combat squad, robot squad, galaxy squad for Star Wars. So I knew of the figures. I did not know they had a cartoon. I was at my grandmother's house, and I happened to be popping to the on-demand channel. I can't remember what I was looking for. I think I was just
probably
bored.
For something on Skinamax, yeah.
Well, no, because this would be the at the time it was the Cutting Edge channel, which is where they put G4. So maybe I was looking for something on G4, but I stumbled across, Cartoon Network on demand, and I saw Superhero Squad. I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. And the first episode was the one where they actually had quite a few characters. This is when they had like Cyclops and Jean Grey of the X-Men in. Doctor Doom was trying to break through the wall again. I think this could have been the first episode with Reptile. I don't Reptile.
No, it was not the first episode of Reptile, and I don't. No, Cyclops and Jean Grey were not there. It was Storm and Wolverine's on the superhero squad, but it was Storm and the Fantastic Four were there.
I remember seeing Cyclops too. I mean, it could have been just a little thing, but
he does show up later though. I don't think he was in the first episode.
All right. Well. I mean, no. This wasn't the first episode. This was the first episode I saw.
Okay. Because I was going to say, because the first episode, "And lo, a pilot shall come," is the one that you're talking about, where Doom is trying to break through. Well, actually, he does break through the wall and uses all these different monsters to try to take over Superhero City.
And I think it was there might have been another later episode. All I remember is the mayor cutting a ribbon. And
that happened in the first episode.
Maybe, but I watched it. And I have to say, like, as soon as I saw the titles, like the opening credits, the music, I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden, I feel my body involuntarily start to shake as I'm bouncing along with this music, and I'm thinking to myself, "Superheroes go hero," and I watched it and I thought, this is absolutely wonderful. This is like a cartoon that has, the feel of the classics from, the 80s on back, with the animation of today. It's silly fun, and 4 hours later, I'm standing there drying a dish, and it's like I'm sitting there going, "I'll save the day, the superhero way. It's time to hero up again, superheroes." And my sister's looking at me like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" So that night, I actually showed her one, and she said, "You're a child." And I said, "This is great." And it is.
We're sitting here reviewing a cartoon show over the last 3-4 years. I mean, that I've been podcasting, I started reviewing cartoons, and we're all kids at heart. I mean, there's too much serious stuff out there in the world nowadays that cartoons are an escape for anybody. I don't care how old you are.
Yeah, and also, it's nice that, because, I mean, there was a period of time where I would say in, like, the mid to late 90s up until maybe the mid 2000s, where I would consider it was, like, really a somewhat of a drought of good cartoons. Because what I mean by that is, you had networks like Cartoon Network, and really that's like the juggernaut. And that instead of just having good syndicated cartoons, they were producing their own original animation that was to their standards, that was to their ideals. You know, it was a studio ethic. And, you know, yes, in a way, you know, Superhero Squad is that, since, you know, it is produced by Cartoon Network. But because of you have the Marvel connection, you have characters and, you know, stories that are of their own being. And I just think it's great to see something like that again. You know, I mean, I think it would be better to see it at 3 o'clock p.m. syndicated on, like, a local station, but, you know, those days unfortunately have come and gone. And it's a ratings issue, you know.
Yeah. Now, as I said before, I've seen all of Season 1. I've seen bits and pieces of Season 2. How much have you actually seen of Superhero Squad?
Well, I've watched all the episodes on Quest for the Infinity Sword Volume 1. And I know I've seen other episodes beyond that. But unfortunately, I really don't remember the order I saw them in. You know, I know I did see the finale where Galactus returned to Earth, and, you know, Silver Surfer became his herald again, and the fact that, you know, the thing he uses to digest the Earth is a giant Slurpee machine. Brought tears to my eyes. I just thought that, you know, I mean, and you know, to be honest with you, Mike, I mean, I don't know. Did you have any Marvel toys when you were a kid?
I might have had a couple of Spider-Man action figures, but I think as a kid I mostly had, like, Super Friends, Superman, Batman. I had mostly DC stuff as a kid.
I had one of the Secret Wars figures. I actually had Magneto. Why Magneto was the only figure I had from that line, I don't know. Maybe it was I just saw something and I liked it, but the Toy Biz Marvel line, when it was like, I think it was 6-inch figures back in the late 80s, early 90s, I had a ton of those. I had Daredevil, Silver Surfer, Magneto, Doctor Doom, Punisher, Spider-Man, Iron Man. Did I have Hulk? No, I didn't have Hulk. I had Thor. And, you know, and of course, yes, I would recreate epic battles from Marvel Comics and what have you. But I would also have the moments where, you know, you had Doctor Doom turning around, banging his head into the wall, because maybe if he hits his head hard enough against the wall, this will all make sense. Because, you know, it's like, my thing is, and this was with all my toys as a kid, is like, yeah, I like what I see on the screen, but, you know, I want to know what they're like off camera. You know, I mean, Silver Surfer polishes his board a lot. Tony Stark, computer genius, sucks at video games. You know, Frank Castle, let's not forget, Frank Castle is Italian, so he hems and haws like an old Italian woman. And that's what I did. And that's really what I love about this show, is that they take those silly elements. Like, this is basically someone took ideas from my mind.
Yeah.
And it's like they've made it like this. I mean, you know, the Earth being turned into a Slurpee. I mean, that's hysterical. That's almost as funny as, you know, the Earth being the host body for a Chaos Bringer.
Oh,
that's another show.
Don't get your Transformers shit out of my Marvel superheroes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I go there? Oh. But, I mean, it's just hysterical.
I love Transformers, but we need to stay on track here with the one genre.
By the way, can I also mention that, as far as I can remember, this actually predated the Avengers show. So this is actually the second animated series to feature MODOK and to basically make him out to be an incompetent bitch.
MODOK is awesome, though. MODOK is hilariously awesome. MODOK, like, you know, two supervillains you would not expect to be team-up buddies, MODOK and the Abomination. Just the way that they made them comically amusing. I mean, they're just huge cannon fodder, and it's just awesome.
Well, MODOK is sort of like that. He's too smart for his own good. What dries, the more it gets wet.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this, and then and Abomination's like a towel.
Oh, yeah.
And now the Abomination, they've obviously dumbed him down significantly because Emil Blonsky was a super intelligent individual.
Yeah.
He got the good end of the gamma radiation. But I mean, it's great, and it's almost as good as Fing Fang Foom losing his pants.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, even dragons have a little shame.
Yes. So I think we're going to move on to the who's who of the show. The main cast consists of Tom Kenny, David Boat, Steve Bloom, Travis Willingham, Charlie Adler, Almy Ballard, Mikey Kelly, Tara Strong, and Jim Cummings. Which Iron Man, Thor, Wolverine, Hulk, Doctor Doom, Falcon, Silver Surfer, Scarlet Witch, and Thanos. All of these main characters are just awesome. And really, honestly, if you think about it, a lot of the other characters that show up are pretty much considered main characters for the most part. But I mean, just seeing all these different awesome voice actors voicing these, I mean, first of all, instead of making Galactus a huge freaking cloud in a film, they make him this planet eater who is voiced by none other than George Takei. That's hilarious.
Hey there, I'm George Takei.
That's not a very good impression.
I'll beam you up.
Yeah, stop. You're just embarrassing yourself. But another thing that really surprised me looking through this cast list on BehindTheVoiceActors.com is they got the live action actor from X-Men 3 to voice Iceman, Shawn Ashmore. That's awesome.
That's just one of those things. It's to give them street cred.
Yeah. And of course, we can't go without mentioning Grey DeLisle. She voices Enchantress, Miss Marvel, and probably a bunch of others. Tara Strong voices a bunch of characters in here. She voices Invisible Woman, Scarlet Witch, as I mentioned before. Tom Kenny as MODOK is hilarious, as we said. I'm trying to think. This entire cast is just amazing. Maurice LaMarche as Magneto. Mark Hamill as the Red Skull. I mean, you can't get better voices than that. It's awesome.
First of all, can I just say that it really seems to me that, like, within the last 10 years or so, we've actually gotten voice actors who, you wouldn't throw them off if they were in front of the camera instead of behind. So I like that we got good-looking people behind the voices now. But, I mean, the cast is good, and what's nice is, you look at some of these names like Steve Bloom, Charlie Adler. They do have a history with other Marvel properties.
Yep.
So, I do like that connection that's going on.
Yeah. Jess Harnell plays Odin in this series, which is pretty awesome. Let's see, what was the other one? Freaking Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund plays Dormammu. That is hilarious.
Oh, well, he's still trying to soften his image after all these years. Gotta love it.
But no, this show has a really, really solid cast. Overall, very great voice acting. There's nothing about the voice cast that I can say. I normally don't say anything bad about voice casts in general anyway, unless it's, Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, because the quality of that show sucks. But
well, no, wait a minute. I mean, Yes,
Well,
that
we're
show
not going to
sucked,
delve too
but
far into this, but
and all I'll say is that it had actors that were recognizable for the day. Now, whether or not that was a good decision to do, I don't know, and that's it.
Overall, the voice cast and the who's who of the characters. I mean, you've got every single major Marvel superhero or supervillain that has made an appearance in this show, and that's what I love about this show. So, moving on to the good, the bad, and the fugly. I honestly don't have anything for the bad or the ugly. I mean, this show is nothing but awesome to me. There isn't anything. I watched all of season 1 before we recorded this, before the recording of this episode, and I laughed. I really enjoyed it. I sat here the entire time. I think I only got up like once through 26 episodes, and it was just an awesome watch through.
Well, no, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy the show. I mean, the few bad things is a lot of the stories are very repetitive. Like, if I watch an episode, I know I'm going to see the Hulk break something badly.
Yeah.
I know that there's going to be a moment where, people give the stink eye to Thor. And Doctor Doom is going to throw a hissy fit and take it out on poor MODOK. And that's the other thing. I love Charlie Adler as a voice actor, but having seen some of the new episodes of the old episodes of Gem now being re-aired, he's a one-trick pony. I mean, he's been doing the same type of voice for 30 years, give or take, a little vocal coding here and there. And it's like, I'm looking at Doctor Doom and I'm like, wait a minute, does this mean Cobra Commander's Doctor Doom? But yeah, I mean, a little variety in the storyline. But other than that, I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's not something to be analyzed, taken seriously. It's something you can watch, and you're not going to commit lines of it to memory. Well, that's not true. When MODOK and Abomination were getting on the quiz show hosted by the Silver Surfer, I did actually remember a couple of those questions because I thought they were pretty damn good.
Yep.
But yeah, and let's be honest, big plus in its favor. There's continuity between the episodes.
Oh yeah, there's so much continuity between the episodes.
Yeah, I bit my tongue there. But yeah, I mean, what series has on the air today has something like that going on? I mean,
Prime. Well, there are a few continuity-based series nowadays, so.
Yeah, but it's not as tight as this was. I mean, something that happened in one episode, the ramifications were still felt a few episodes later. Or at least it was explained in the case of the, helicarrier, which I think got destroyed once every other episode.
That's true, yeah. Well, you did mention the Taint of Primus earlier, and that's a show that has a strict continuity to it, although it does have a few one-off episodes, but every episode of Transformers Prime has callbacks to the previous episode, so there's at least one mark for that.
Yeah, really? I usually don't see it. I mean, once in a while it'll pick up, and it's like, oh yeah. See, what it is, it's like it's once in a while they'll say something, I'm like, oh yeah, that now connects the last two episodes with the episode before them. Which, I mean, you can say that's good, you can say that's bad. I'm a little slow in my old age. I need to be led around.
You're only 32, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but I have lived a long life in my 32 years.
Right, anyway. Alright, so next up is how the show stacks up. Basically, there's 4 questions here. How does the show compare to other shows within the same franchise? How does it stack up against shows in the same genre? How does it stack up against show in the same time slot? And which show from previous decade is the show most comparable to? For me, on the first question of how does the show compare to other shows within the same franchise, Marvel animation, to me, honestly, outside of this show today, sucks. There isn't one thing out of Marvel animation other than Superhero Squad show that I actually enjoy watching.
You don't enjoy the Avengers?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Really?
It's that fucking theme song. Pisses me off.
Oh, you don't like how they play off the word one and how they have it, we'll fight together as one.
Okay, stop. You're gonna break my brain right now. Stop it.
Sorry.
It's not you, it's that damn theme song. The world is not about to break, for Christ's sake. For me, yeah, Superhero Squad show is the only thing Marvel has going as far as its animation projects that I actually enjoy. Marvel right now is better at the movies. What about you?
Well, I mean, I have to disagree, but
You're allowed to do that.
But to be honest with you, I don't feel comfortable comparing the Superhero Squad to a show like the Avengers or the Iron Man Armored Avenger, which I'm not really that big of a fan of, just because it's such a drastically different show, and it goes for a different audience. I think for the younger kids, a show like Superhero Squad is great, and I think for the older kids, you go for the Avengers. So I think one doesn't necessarily replace or circumvent the other.
Yeah. And as far as stacking up in shows in the same genre, same thing for me. I mean, see, the problem with Superhero Squad is that it's, as you said before, it's kind of made for kids, and it does have that adult humor as well, but the problem is you don't see it alongside of, like, it's not going up against, like, I would love to see the ratings war between this and Young Justice, just to see who would win.
Well, when I think of shows like this in the same genre, I think of stuff like Yo Gabba 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 or Yo Gabba Gabba, Dora the Explorer, or
oh wow, seriously?
Go Diego Go. And I don't think
No,
I don't think they
nowhere near those shows.
Really? You think that?
No. This is nowhere near. Those are edutainment children's shows. Those aren't cartoons. Even though they are animated, they aren't fucking cartoons. They're children's edutainment. They're learning stones for fucking kids.
Oh, all right. But I'm just trying to think of that, preschool type of show. But I mean, regardless, I think this is the best show for them. Yes, are they going to learn something? No. Well, no, that's not true. If they're inspired, they could learn a little bit about comic book history, but that really wouldn't prove that useful in real world situations. But yeah, it's a good show. I mean, I think it's the best thing. You can put your kid in front of the screen, let them watch it with them, of course, and you don't have to worry about having to have a special conversation with them after the show's over.
Yeah. And as far as how does it stack up against showing its time slot, I don't even think they're airing new episodes right now. I know they're not airing new episodes right now because I normally am awake at 6 a.m. on Saturday mornings at this point, and it's Looney Tunes that is showing. So I think Superhero Squad is either on a season hiatus or something like that. But even the time slot for this 6 a.m. 6:30 a.m. On Saturday mornings, it's basically supposedly Cartoon Network starts their Saturday morning off at 6 a.m. and it goes to about 11 a.m. or noon. They used to start off with Superhero Squad at 6 a.m., Ben 10, and then whatever other fucking Cartoon Network crap that Cartoon Network has, like Flapjack or shit like that, or fucking Adventure Time or crap like that. So I really can't compare this to the other time slots because, again, it hasn't been on in a while. And again, there really is no comparison between this show and like a show like Ben 10 or, Star Wars or anything like that. There's just no comparing the two.
More importantly, there isn't another network with a Saturday morning cartoon block.
True.
I mean, and there hasn't been for quite some time.
I think the CW still has 4Kids TV. They took that from Fox, but again, most of that is like anime crap.
Well, yeah, but I mean, is it like on Saturday mornings, or is that like a weekday afternoon type?
No, it's Saturday mornings that CW runs that, I think.
Right. But you may not be a fan of the type of cartoons they air, but I'm just glad to hear that they have it because I think the Saturday morning cartoon block is a very important staple to a child's development.
Yeah. I mean, if I was gonna, really rank this up against others in its, see, I can't say time slot because those shows aren't on at 6. See, that's again, the whole friggin' problem with the show is it's in the wrong time slot. It should not be on at 6 a.m. It should be on like at 8 or 9 a.m. If it was on at like 8 or 9 a.m., I would rank this up with stuff like Phineas and Ferb, stuff like Kick Buttowski. Yin Yang Yo, when it was airing, was another one that could have ranked up with this. But because of its 6 a.m. time slot, this show just it has no real competition whatsoever, which kind of sucks. And as far as which show from a previous decade this show most comparable to, honestly, as far as the comedy goes, I would say it's comparable to the comedy that was in like Tiny Toons or Animaniacs, a little bit. Even though this is mainly comic book humor.
Very good, Mike. I was going to say the same thing. Well, actually, what I was going to say is if you took the Tick and he had an orgy with the Warner brothers and sister, and if a child was produced, I would say it would be this show.
Oh, wow. Ow, my brain hurts now. Holy crap, how do you do that? You're a dirty old man, Chuck Dog.
You know what it is, Mike? You really want to know what the secret is? First of all, I grew up with Saturday morning cartoons. I also grew up with Three's a Company and Mork and Mindy. So I had Robin Williams and John Ritter influencing my childhood.
Nanu.
And I was born without the filter in a person's brain that says, "Oh, I don't think you should say something like that."
Yes. All right. So next up is the IGN Replacement Crew. We have a series of 4 ratings for this. 1 is don't ever watch this show, people. 2 is the show is worth a watch view if you come across it. 3, you should definitely be DVRing this show. And 4, you need to add this to your DVD collection as soon as it's possible. For me, I've already bought it in iTunes, so I guess I would be giving this show a 4. I absolutely love this show. As I said before, it's just hilarious. What about you? What would you give this show? 1 out of 4?
I would have to give it a 3 just because right now on the market are single disc collections from the seasons, and I don't want people to get stuck with all those discs, and then they come out with like a complete series set that is going to be loaded with extra special features that weren't on the single discs.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that, getting into the DVD and when and where you can see this. As I said, when new episodes do air, they air Saturday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Cartoon Network. But as far as home media, Shout Factory released the Superhero Squad Quest for the Infinity Sword Volume 1 on July 13th, 2010. The DVD included the first 7 episodes of the show, as well as never-before-seen bonus features. And on November 9th, 2010, the Superhero Squad show Quest for the Infinity Sword Volume 2 was released, which contains 6 more episodes of the first season, as well as more bonus features. February 8th, 2011, Superhero Squad Show Quest for the Infinity Sword Volume 3 was released. So basically we have 4 volumes in total that have been released, as well as Season 2, the Infinity Gauntlet Volume 1 was released, Volumes 1 and Volume 2 for Infinity Gauntlet. Now, Canada is interesting. Vivendi Entertainment, under the named Vivendi Entertainment Canada, released 2 volumes under the names of the Superhero Squad Hero Up Squaddies Volume 1 and the Superhero Squad Titanic Team Ups Volume 2, both released May 4th, 2010. A Volume 3 was announced to release on June 29th, 2010, but to a conclusion, the Volume 3 DVD never hit markets. Since this happened, Vivendi didn't release a Volume 4 DVD either. On September 28th, 2010, Vivendi did release the Superhero Squad Show The Complete Season 1 DVD set, containing an unnamed Volume 3 and Volume 4. It is unknown if there will be any Season 2 DVD releases. So if you import it from Canada, you can get a full season of Superhero Squad on DVD. As I said before, I have the full season, all 26 episodes in iTunes. Doesn't have any special features, but at least I have the episodes, and at least I can watch them whenever the hell I want to.
I have the first 3 DVDs. I'll probably pick up that 4th one, just so I can have... just because I'm already 3 DVDs in, and, just do the prayer of the common man that says, please don't do a complete season set. Please, and if you do a complete season set, please don't add any extra special features. And,
well, it's funny, and I should talk to my contacts at Shout Factory and see what's up with this series, because here in the United States, I should say, they have the license to be releasing these. Now, as of late, Shout Factory, with a lot of its cartoon franchises, granted they are retro cartoon franchises like Transformers, G.I. Joe, Jem, Mask, they've released complete series first, and then the volume sets or season sets later. I think the problem with Superhero Squad is because it is still in production. It's a concurrently running show. You're probably not going to get a complete series set until the show is ended, but I'm sure if it does happen, Shout Factory will do an amazing job with it.
Well, Mike, it's quite surprising because up until you had mentioned it on the show tonight, I had thought this show was off the air. Like I thought the production was done.
I don't think it is. Let me look it up really quick. So yes, sadly, in my research, Chuck, you are correct. It is currently not running anymore. It did end its run. The show had 52 episodes, 2 seasons. It ended with The Final Battle, Nuff Said, which is kind of sad to me because I think this show could have gone, regardless of comic continuity, I think this show was doing its own thing, and I wish it would have gone on to more stuff, but hey, who knows? Maybe we'll get that complete series set from Shout Factory now.
See, now I'm conflicted. I mean, obviously, since it's only one disc, I will buy Volume 4. But now it's sort of like, do I wait for Season 2? I mean, because you figure out
Season 2 has like 2 or 3 volumes out already. But
yeah, I know. But the thing is, do I wait to buy those for a complete season? Because you figure once those are off the market, we live in this day and age. Everything in its mother has like a collector's value to it. So I mean, it's not like I'm going to be able to find these DVDs for a reasonable price once they're out of stores. They're going to shoot up in value because it's comic books. Oh yeah, $50. Some schmuck will buy it.
Yeah, I guess. Overall, Superhero Squad had a great run. A lot of funny moments, a lot of awesome comic book homages, and it's very, very well done. So we are going to go to some ads, and then we'll come back to close the show.
You can now hear the GeekCast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free-use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear GeekCast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code box and enter GeekCast Radio, all one word. to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code GeekCastRadio when you register.
ToonCast is dedicated to the cartoons we grew up with. 100 episodes and more make up one of the GCRN's most popular podcasts. Join hosts TFG and Mike, Optimus Solo, Terror the Rising Star, and tons of guest hosts. We also have voice actor and writer interviews. Tune in to ToonCast as we look back on the cartoons that defined us as geeks. You can find ToonCast on iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Tune in.
Like animation? Come listen to Animation Aficionados.
And if you disagree with us, you could be a guest on a future show.
Available on iTunes, the Zune Market, and animationaficionados.com.
Do you like retro shows? Did you grow up in either the 80s or the 90s? Then tune into Telecast, GeekCastRadio.com's newest podcast. Join us here on the Telecast as we revisit some of your favorite shows, such as Clarissa Explains It All, Salute Your Shorts, Saved by the Bell, and much, much more, only on GeekCastRadio.com.
Geekcast Radio, number one place for geeks to go. Cartoons, movies, and TV, everything to please your inner geek. Cobra, Transformers, G.I. Joe. Geekcast Radio's a place to go with the best podcasts on the internet. From Steve and Mike and special guests. Entertainment's what we do. So let us unleash the geek in you. Geekcast Radio. Geekcast Radio. Geekcast Radio.
Sword of Omens. Give me sight beyond sight. I see a new episode of ToonCast coming this week.
Now back to ToonCast.
So, Mr. Chuck Dog, sir, final thoughts on the Superhero Squad show?
Just a funny and great show, and I'll be honest, it's the second cartoon within the past 10 years that I can say that I really sat down and enjoyed just for the sake of enjoying. There wasn't anything to follow. It was just mindless entertainment.
Yes.
The other cartoon was Shaolin Showdown, and that just, I mean, you really can't compare the two. I mean, you sort of can, but it's such a great show, and really at the heart of it's the characters. I mean, you look at the core members of the team, and it's characters that have been a part of the Marvel universe in some cases since the early '60s. But they've all at least been there for 30 years. I mean, these are the characters that Marvel was founded on. And again, time and time again, it's these same characters over and over that grab people's interest. It's the characters people know, and it's just a great show. And, if it inspires one kid to pick up a comic book, and I don't mean the crap they've on the shelves today. I mean, you start from like maybe 1993 and back, like a real comic book.
Wow. So I take it you're not a fan of the new 52.
Oh my God! I mean, I understand where they were coming from, but
right.
But then again,
we
also
can have a discussion on that another day. But yeah.
But well, you also got to keep in mind, I haven't read a comic book since 1994, so I've missed a lot.
Yeah, and my final thoughts for Superhero Squad show is pretty much what I've just pretty much said the whole episode. It's awesome. Everyone needs to be watching it. I wish there was more episodes. I wish we could get a season 3. But it's very, very, very cool. So with that, thank you for joining us here on ToonCast Beyond. There are some ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, www.geekcastradio.com. You can comment on each episode post. You can also now stream our shows on Stitcher Smart Radio. Go to Stitcher.com for that. They have Android apps, iPhone apps, all kinds of stuff, and it's free. Use promo code GeekCastRadio so we can actually get money off of it. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. As I said before, any iTunes reviews from ToonCast Classic we will read or respond to here in ToonCast Beyond. I don't think this show is in iTunes yet. I'm not sure. We might be having difficulty with the feed submitting it, so we'll have to get that worked out. Follow us on Twitter. The short name there is ToonCast Beyond. Mine is TFG and Mike. What is your Twitter, sir?
Chuck Dog DAWG 1999.
Don't you have a YouTube channel you might want to pimp out?
Oh, yeah, well, sure. If you're okay, I'll pimp all my channels. I also have a YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/ChuckDog1999. I do toy reviews. Everything from G.I. Joe, Transformers to Marvel Universe and Nerf. You can also find me on Facebook. I have my own personal fan page, not set up by myself, mind you, called What the Chuck. Feel free to like that. You can also like the What's on Joe Mind official Facebook page. And you can also check out the What's on Joe Mind podcast right here on GeekCastRadio.com.
That's right. You can become a fan of us on Facebook. Go to Facebook.com/GeekCastRadioNetwork. Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving a message for and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of ToonCast Beyond and wish you'll join us next time when we will be kicking off the DC Universe Animated Movies Spotlight. Crossing over with animation aficionados, we are covering 14 of the DC Universe animated movies, starting with Superman Doomsday. Worst film ever.
Preach on, brother.
For now, I am TFG1 Mike with
Chuck Dog 1999. Your pal Chuck.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.